Hi, this is Roger, thanks for dropping by. It's all very well getting trophies when you put your orchids in a show, but there comes a time when you have to give them back. And over time they get tarnished, and there is no way I am using traditional cleaning for silverware, not when there's a quick easy way to do it. You get a pan full of boiling water, well, preferably put your bako foil in, something like this. Just any sort of metal foil that you'd use for cooking, shiny side up, put that in the bottom of the pan, yeah, before you put the water in, otherwise it's not very easy, yeah, and then you put a good spoonful of bicarbonate of soda and a good shake of sea salt and make sure the water is nearly boiling or just off the boil. And then what you do is you get your silverware and you plop it in there. And it must touch the foil or nothing happens. And then you just sort of wait for an amount of time. Whatever that is, that was a few seconds. You notice there's some bubbling going on, yeah? And then when you bring it out, it's shiny clean. That can go in for a little bit longer because I can still see a little bit of tarnish on it. The only problem is with this flipping trophy is this bit. It's an awful trophy, I must admit. Candlestick holder for best hybrid in show, you know, an orchid society is not the best of trophies. A cup would be nicer, or some sort of bowl, or some sort of glass engraved vase or vase, whatever you want to call it, but this is what I got. I even got an apology with it. Sorry about the naff trophy, Roger. But I might actually do something about this, because best hybrid in show and best species in show are to me, they're the top prizes. Best orchid in show is probably one higher than that, but in theory, if you've got best species in show or best hybrid in show, you've already got best orchid in show, so that's 2 awards for the same plant, which I don't necessarily agree with. It'd be nice if there were 3 trophies for 3 separate plants. Anyway, that's the way it works. I don't make the rules. But what we should have now is a nice shiny clean piece of silverware without doing any scrubbing or work whatsoever. The only time this is unlikely to work is if there's any grease or anything on it, or previous polish. Now, as you can see, as that dries, notice I'm holding the bit that's not hot. Don't pick it up with your fingers when it's been in boiling water, but it's clean. That will just need drying off with a tissue, paper towel, something like that. And if you want it to stay clean, before you hand it back, don't get your greasy fingers on it, because that provides the chemicals from your fingers to actually produce the tarnish in the first place, so keep it clean. So that bit can now go to one side. You can see the line where it got in the water, and you can also appreciate that if I turn that upside down, there's going to be in the bit in the middle that hasn't got any water. So I'm going to try an experiment. It must be touching the bako foil or it doesn't work. But what I'm going to try is seeing if I splash this, whether it'll work. I haven't done this before, but I can't get this whole trophy in. I think that's working. I do not want to start scrubbing with silver polish, I really don't. I think that's working. It is, yay! Again, watch your fingers, you're working with boiling water, but I think that'll do the job. The difficult thing is the top part. Now, I've got a shallow pan here, and I'm hoping that by twisting this and turning it in that pan, the 2 ends I can get in there, but that middle bit I can't because of the 2 ends. So I do have I might have to use the spoon method. Well, that does seem to be working. I mean, as long as the base is touching it. I mean, obviously this is a much slower process, but it wasn't absolutely spotless when I got it, so it's going back better than when I first got it. But yeah, it's one of these old wives' tales remedies that you find lurking in ancient texts and things like that. But I think that has done the job. And then all I've got to do now is turn it upside down when it's cool enough to touch. And I need to put that somewhere where it's can cool down. But it's done the job. That is infinitely cleaner than it was before. I don't know how long the solution lasts. Just chuck that in the sink for a minute. You know, I don't know whether the chemical reaction becomes less as you use it more. It probably does, but if you take that tarnished end there, if I plop that in like that, make sure it's touching in as many places as possible. As long as it's bubbling, I assume it's still working. But if not, you know, obviously just refresh it, do it again. New piece of foil, some more bicarb of soda and some more sea salt. Let's see if that's still actually working. Yeah, it's still working. So that's got that bit in. And then it's just repeat the process. As I said, this middle bit's going to be a bit of a pain. But that spooning method seems to work, albeit a bit tedious, so I should be able to clean this whole thing up. And what I might do is ask, is this trophy precious? Was it given to you by somebody who's possibly passed on, you know, and it has a memory to go with it? Or was it just somebody's leftover that they decided to donate? Because I might actually think about replacing it myself and actually getting a decent trophy. I mean, I'll probably never win it again, but that's not the point. You know, when you join a society, you're taking part. You know, you're part of it, and I like to contribute. And as long as it doesn't cost too much, but YouTube will be paying for that anyway, not me. But yeah, that's a simple old wives' solution for cleaning up tarnished silverware. And it does work. So that's that end done. Now, keeping my fingers away from the hot bit, we can chuck the other end in. And then all I've got left to do is that bit in the middle, which I'll sort out. You don't need to see that. But it works. Let's see if I can find something really manky in the kitchen drawer. What about that spoon? Let's try that. Just give that a dunk and see if that will clean up. I'm fascinated by this. I mean, there's a genuine chemical process going on, and it's to do with the foil is forming some sort of electrical reaction with the silverware using the solution that's got the bicarb and the salt in. I'm sure there's a nice technical explanation for that and exactly what's going on. I don't need to know how it works, I just need to know that it does. What's that done to that spoon? Oh, not a lot actually. That might not be silver, although it does have a hallmark on it, but it might just be so dirty that it's not going to work. I'm going to leave it in there for a bit and see what happens. Actually I'm not, because that will degrade the solution and I haven't finished cleaning the trophy yet, so we'll forget that bit. But you can see it works anyway. So just a tip for anybody who has to clean some silverware that's not so big as, you know, to be able to get it in something like a big saucepan or something like that. And do take care if you think, oh, I've got a lovely deep vase I could use. Yeah, well, if it's glass, pouring boiling water in it might not be the best of ideas, because it's probably going to crack and you'll end up with boiling water all over your feet. So precautions, you know, be sensible about things, but it does work. It's good stuff. Nothing to do with orchids, but orchid related. After all, it was an orchid trophy, and soon it'll be shiny clean, and then it can go to somebody else and they can look after it. See you next time.